Hi guys, welcome to another vlog. Today we're going to be looking at the mix setting on the Kemppi MasterTIG 235. We're currently having a thunderstorm after 3 days of a heat wave, so I'm hoping the audio is going to be okay. So if you can hear some thunder and rain in the background, that's what it is. Just turn that water cooler off so you can hear me. We find the mix setting in the current mode, and the mix setting will switch the welding current between AC and DC for an aluminium weld. So in my settings, I'm going to put the frequency down to 90. I'm going to leave the AC balance at -30. My AC TIG ratio I've got right up at 80%. It does go all the way to 90. Just want more AC than DC to start with. DC level I'm going to leave at 100%, and I'm going to leave the cycle time at 0.6 to start with. I'll pop up on the screen Kemppi's overview of what the mix settings mean, but basically they're saying it's ideal for AC welding thick to thin aluminium. So I'm going to have my first real try welding with it, welding these AN fittings to 2mm aluminium. I've pre-welded these tanks, so all I have to do is weld the fittings on. I've got 4 fittings in total that I can experiment with. I've got a GoPro with a welding lens on it so we can see the welds, hopefully. And let's get stuck in and see how this mix setting actually behaves. For this weld, I've got a number 5 standard gas cup with a 2.4mm 2% lanthanated tungsten. That's the one with the blue tip. And I'm going to be using a 2.4mm 5356 filler rod. These AN fittings are produced here in Queensland by Velocity Engineering. So this is attempt number 1 with the mix setting on the Kemppi. So just got some heat into the fittings, a couple of tacks, and started the weld. I was a little bit unhappy with the switching speed of the currents, so I'm going to up that from 0.6 seconds to 0.8 seconds. I'm going to go the opposite way now and switch that from 0.8 to 0.4. Speed it up. I've just changed the mixed TIG AC ratio from 80% to 60%. I don't like that at all. So I've brought the TIG AC ratio back up to 90% and the cycle time to 0.2 seconds. I have just reset the settings back to the default settings, which is frequency at 100 Hertz. I've got it on square wave. I've got the AC balance at -30. I've got the AC ratio at 50%, the cycle time at 0.6 seconds, and the DC level at 100%. I wasn't real happy with that previous test, so I'm going to have a second attempt. Just going to try the second half on the optima setting instead of square wave. So the final part of that weld and the bulk of this weld was done on this setting. The only thing that I changed at the end was to the optima waveform instead of square wave. And this one here, you can see the weld is really dull. Both of them, in fact, the welds are quite dull. Now I'm going to leave my final thoughts as somebody who's played with this feature for less than half an hour. I don't see a benefit. Please correct me if you think my settings are bad or if I could improve my settings, travel speed, argon flow or torch setup, and I'll come back and revisit this setting and see if I get some success, because it sounds like an awesome thing. Increased travel speed, reduced heat, weld thick to thin. Sounds like everything you want from automotive aluminium fabrication. But for me in practice, it just doesn't deliver the aesthetic quality that I look for in my welds, and it's just really weird to use, to have switch from AC to DC like a pulse setting. It's just a really bizarre style of welding. The reason I made this video was hopefully to show somebody who's interested in buying this machine an insight into the features, which I haven't found good explanations or any explanations online previous to me purchasing this machine. If you'd like to see a deep dive into another setting on this machine, let me know in the comments below and I'll be sure to do a video on it. And guys, I'd really like to get more subscribers. If you've made it all the way to the end, I bet you've got some value out of it. So if you do me a favor and click that little subscribe button, it actually makes a difference and really inspires me to make more of these videos. And on that note, thank you so much for spending this time with me. I truly appreciate it. And I can't wait to see you in the next one.